From legend to tragedy, 10 celebrities who collapsed after failed cosmetic surgery. Megan Fox, Hollywood's enigmatic beauty icon, has long been considered a living goddess on screen. With her piercing eyes, perfect cheekbones, and captivating smile, she quickly captured the hearts of fans through her hit roles, especially in the Transformers series, where she became the epitome of Hollywood glamour. However, over time, subtle changes to Megan's face began to make people curious. Compared to her early days, her face now has sharper and more refined lines, sparking rumors that she has used Botox, fillers, or even invasive cosmetic procedures to maintain her beauty. Her signature full lips and sharp cheekbones have made many people suspect that she has invested more in her appearance. In the face of constant speculation, Megan Fox has chosen to speak out about the pressures and unrealistic beauty standards set by Hollywood, but has remained silent about whether she has had plastic surgery or not. Off-screen, Megan also knows how to use social media to connect with fans. On Instagram and Twitter, she regularly shares everyday moments, behind-the-scenes images, and candid thoughts about her life, career, and challenges in the entertainment industry. Her posts always attract millions of interactions, proving her strong influence on digital platforms. Many fans believe that professional makeup techniques, along with sophisticated contouring and lighting, have contributed greatly to Megan's perfect beauty. However, it is undeniable that her face has clearly changed over time. Whatever the reason behind the change, Megan Fox has always maintained a strong appeal to the public. Her undeniable acting talent and captivating beauty have made her one of Hollywood's most talked about beauty icons. With an impressive social media presence, she is not only a star on the silver screen, but also an inspirational figure, constantly connecting and influencing millions of people around the world. Amanda Ahola, a young Finnish girl, has turned her dream of becoming a real-life Barbie doll into a passionate but also dangerous and controversial journey. Starting at the age of 18, Amanda was determined to completely change her appearance with a series of cosmetic surgeries to achieve doll-like beauty. She underwent 3 breast augmentations, costing tens of thousands of pounds, an expensive nose job, and countless filler and Botox injections to correct her face and body. The money for these transformations came not only from Amanda herself, but also from financial support from her boyfriend and a sugar daddy, an older man she only knew over the phone. However, the price of perfection is very high. During her 3rd breast augmentation surgery, Amanda had a severe reaction to the anesthesia that caused her to have seizures and brain swelling, and she thought she would lose her life. Her mother shared the terrifying moment when doctors told her that her daughter could have died. But rather than stopping her, the near-death experience only deepened Amanda's passion for body modification. She continued to publicize her journey on social media, becoming a controversial figure. While many admired her courage and determination to express herself, others were concerned about the risks and extremes involved in pushing her body to its limits. Amanda's journey raises profound questions about societal pressures on body image and the extent to which some people are willing to sacrifice to conform to increasingly restrictive beauty standards. Are these changes a manifestation of personal power and freedom of expression, or simply a consequence of unrealistic standards? Whatever the controversy, Amanda Ahola's story is a clear demonstration of the changing concept of beauty in the modern era, where the line between admiration and concern is increasingly fragile, and the price of perfection is sometimes life. Mary Sebastian Pickles Magdalene, the strange name of the woman who transformed herself into a human doll with an appearance unlike any Barbie model you have ever seen. She looks like she stepped out of a haunted attic, with empty eyes, an unusually small mouth, and a gaze filled with constant uncertainty. Mary has undergone countless extreme plastic surgeries, multiple breast implants, lip fillers, nose jobs, and especially a dangerous surgery to reshape her eyes to be as doll-like as possible. A process that is not only painful, but also contains many serious risks. Her transformation is both fascinating and unsettling. Each time she undergoes surgery, Mary moves further away from her original appearance, becoming a bizarre and unrecognizable version of a porcelain doll. Mary's journey of self-discovery through each surgery seems to never end, as she continually seeks out new surgeons to continue perfecting the idealized image in her mind, even though it is far from reality. The online community's reaction to Mary is divided. Some admire her determination in daring to be true to herself, but many are deeply concerned about the physical and mental risks she is facing. Despite the criticism, Mary still insists that each surgery helps her feel closer to her true self. The story of Mary Sebastian Pickles Magdalene opens up challenging questions about the concept of beauty, identity, and the immense pressure that society puts on individuals to pursue beauty ideals. Whether you view her with admiration or skepticism, Mary's journey makes us reflect on the true meaning of beauty and self-acceptance in the modern world. Priscilla Presley. When an injection changed her life, Priscilla Presley. The woman who once captivated Hollywood with her classic, elegant, and noble beauty. With her soft face, deep eyes, and unmistakable elegance, she was once considered a timeless beauty icon. But everything changed after a terrible incident in 2003. At that time, Priscilla trusted a man who claimed to be a famous cosmetic doctor named Daniel Serrano. What she didn't know was that Serrano had no license, and he injected industrial-grade silicone, the kind used in cars, into her face. The consequences came quickly and horribly. Her facial muscles began to go numb. The silicone migrated and formed hard lumps under the skin. Her cheeks, lips, and areas around her mouth swelled up and became deformed. Her face was severely disfigured. Despite attempts to repair it in 2008 with plastic surgery, the damage was too severe. The silicone blocks did not dissolve, leaving scar tissue and making Priscilla's face as hard as a mask. Cold, expressionless, with no trace of her former beauty. Every delicate line was now replaced by a distorted, shiny appearance, and completely lost its naturalness. Not stopping there, in 2019, she had to undergo another surgery to remove cancerous tissue from her nose. Fearing scarring and public scrutiny, Priscilla sought other cosmetic procedures to hide the consequences. But the more she tried, the worse her condition became. Fans almost did not recognize her. The once famous beauty icon, now just a strange silhouette. Priscilla Presley is bitter proof that just one wrong decision, like putting trust in the wrong person, is enough to turn a lifetime into a series of regrets. And with cosmetic surgery, the consequences are not always reversible. Igor and Grichka Bogdanov. When science fiction turns into reality on your face. French twins Igor and Grichka Bogdanov were pop culture icons in the 1970s, thanks to their hugely popular science fiction shows. With their striking looks, angular faces, with high cheekbones and sharp jawlines, they not only attracted audiences, but also caught the attention of the fashion world thanks to their unique personalities. However, starting in the late 1990s, the brothers' appearance began to change in strange and controversial ways. Their cheekbones became excessively puffy, their lips became noticeably fuller, and their chins became so long and shiny that they almost lost their natural features. Their faces were no longer typical models, but transformed into an almost alien-like image, much to the surprise of many. What's special is that both Igor and Grichka firmly deny having had plastic surgery. They claim that they were the subjects of technological experiments to enhance their intelligence and physical abilities, transforming their faces according to science fiction advances. However, the public and the media did not believe this explanation, believing that the strange changes in their faces must have come from excessive cosmetic interventions. In the early 2000s, the appearance of the Bogdanov twins at international film festivals and social events always created a wave of backlash. Their faces were described with words such as surreal, inhuman, and even bizarre. Instead of avoiding or denying, the two brothers accepted the criticism with a humorous and confident attitude. They called themselves living proof of a limitless world, where appearance can be a product of imagination and technology. In doing so, Igor and Grichka Bogdanov redefined the concept of celebrity, not only through the content and knowledge they conveyed, but also through their own distinctive and shocking appearances, an unforgettable mark in modern popular culture. Jocelyn Wildenstein, Catwoman of the upper class. When it comes to the most radically transformed faces due to plastic surgery, It is difficult to surpass Jocelyn Wildenstein, the woman once dubbed Catwoman because of her appearance inspired by cats. This journey began in the 1990s when she was still married to billionaire artist Alec Wildenstein. It is said that Jocelyn was influenced by her husband's passion for wild cats, so she embarked on a series of surgeries to achieve cat-eyed beauty. She spent millions of dollars to completely change her face, the most prominent part of which was her eyes. Continuous eyelid surgeries, including lower and upper eyelid surgery, made her eyes slanted upwards, giving her a sharp but strange look. Jocelyn's cheekbones were also heavily injected with fillers, making her face look awkwardly angular, with no trace of its original, natural look. Despite her obvious transformation, Jocelyn has never admitted to having undergone extensive plastic surgery. She claims her features are inherited from her Swiss ancestors. Now 84, Jocelyn still appears with a bizarre appearance, a living testament to both extremes in beauty and a lifestyle of unlimited luxury. But if Jocelyn caused controversy because of her intention to change, the story that follows is more tragic, the story of a real victim. Katie Price, transformed to the point of not being herself. Katie Price was once one of the most prominent models in the UK, with a hot body, sharp face, and confident demeanor. But then fame comes with pressure, especially the pressure to maintain a perfect appearance in a fiercely competitive world. Instead of listening to her body, Katie chose to change it, again and again. She had a nose job, breast implants, facelifts, lip injections, cheek implants, eyebrow lifts, and recently her sixth facelift. Every time she appeared, the public was shocked to see a new look, completely different from her original image. The lines that were once soft and feminine now became sharp, stiff, and lost their natural look. The excessive eyebrow lift gave her face a permanent expression like the character Spock in Star Trek. Her cheeks were swollen like air pumps, her lips were unnaturally thick, and her nose bridge kept changing after each surgery. There were times when she herself had to admit that her current face was no longer her own. However, unlike Courtney or Priscilla, Katie had no regrets. She compared cosmetic surgery to maintaining a car. If it needed to be fixed, it would be fixed. If it needed to be replaced, it would be replaced. I will continue to have surgery until I achieve the perfect version of myself, she declared frankly. However, the point is, the more maintenance, the more Katie's real face disappeared. She became a living proof of the burning question. If you fix your face too many times, when will you no longer recognize yourself? 7. Pete Burns, the face of an obsession. Pete Burns, the lead singer of the band Dead or Alive, is famous worldwide for his hit You Spin Me Round and his unique, rebellious style, once considered a symbol of difference. However, his passion for changing his appearance has turned him into a typical example of the serious consequences of plastic surgery. It all started with a simple nose surgery to repair a broken nose. But gradually, the number of interventions escalated out of control, with a total of more than 300 major and minor surgeries over the years. Pete's nose bridge became smaller and smaller, cheekbones were implanted to create angles, and filler injections made his face sharp but lacking the natural look it had. The most noticeable thing is his lips. After 2 lip augmentations, Pete suffered serious complications that left his lips swollen, painful, and severely affected his ability to eat and speak. He had to undergo emergency surgery to fix it, but the result was that his face was still unrecognizable. Pete Burns admitted that he could not stop the surgery, despite knowing the consequences. He once shared, "I don't think I'm addicted to surgery, but I can't stop." His story is a valuable warning about the obsession with perfect beauty, where beauty gradually becomes a burden, destroying health, spirit, and reputation. Courtney Cox. When she no longer recognized herself, Courtney Cox was once the epitome of natural beauty in the 90s, with the image of Monica Geller in Friends, a fresh, lively, vibrant face that millions of fans loved. But like many other Hollywood stars, the pressure to stay young forever began to creep into her life. When she saw the first signs of aging, Courtney chose a gentle intervention, a little Botox, a little filler to preserve her youth. However, the scary thing is that those little things gradually became a habit. Over time, the cosmetic methods became more frequent, more intense. Her face changed little by little. Her cheeks became abnormally full. Her forehead was no longer wrinkled, but also lost its flexibility. Her skin was so shiny that it was almost emotionless. Fans began to ask, what happened to Courtney? Why does her face seem to be frozen in a fixed expression? The answer comes from her. In an interview, Courtney Cox admitted that she had gone too far. She shared a heartbreaking truth. I looked in the mirror and didn't see myself anymore. The fillers, initially just a temporary solution, turned into a domino effect. She adjusted one area, then had to adjust another to balance it out. And the spiral continued until she lost the image that used to be her symbol. By 2017, Courtney decided to stop. She proceeded to release all the fillers, hoping to regain her real face, even if it was older. But it was her, the real person, not a recycled version by cosmetic surgery. From then on, Courtney chose to live with time, accepting aging as a natural part of life. We are so obsessed with holding on to youth that sometimes we end up losing ourselves, she says. But true beauty isn't about having a wrinkle-free face. It's about accepting yourself for who you are. Raji Nareensingh. When medical mistakes ruin a life. Raji Nareensingh is the most painful testimony to the unpredictable consequences of uncontrolled cosmetic procedures and underground doctors. In 2005, with the desire to improve her facial features, Raji sought out a person claiming to be a doctor to inject cheap fillers. However, instead of safe fillers, she was injected with a dangerous mixture of tire glue, cement, and mineral oil, substances that are completely not intended for the human body. After a short time, Raji began to experience serious complications. Her face was severely swollen, hard lumps appeared under the skin, causing her cheeks to become deformed and severely asymmetrical. Her skin swelled as if it was about to explode, causing a series of pains and a feeling of horror every time she looked in the mirror. This incident caused her to withdraw from social life, living in isolation and inferiority for many years. Raji's hope was only rekindled when she was invited to participate in the program Botched, a famous TV show specializing in helping failed cosmetic surgeries. Although the toxic substances could not be completely removed due to the risk of affecting her life, the doctors intervened to help Raji regain a more natural and balanced appearance. Today, Raji has become a symbol of resilience and extraordinary determination, using her own tragic story to warn the community about the potential dangers of uncontrolled cosmetic procedures. She is living proof that, even when pushed to the bottom of tragedy, people can still stand up and overcome fate. Anastasia Pokrestyuk, the Ukrainian girl and her journey to becoming a cheek goddess. If there is a woman who brings modern aesthetics to the level of physical art, it is Anastasia Pokrestyuk, a famous Ukrainian model and influencer. She is known for having the largest cheeks in the world and is proud of it. Starting with small adjustments when she was in her early 20s, Anastasia quickly got caught up in the vortex of upgrading her appearance. Her cheeks were injected with fillers many times until they were swollen, creating a sharp, almost sculpted structure. Her face, with giant cheeks, is impressive and controversial. Not stopping there, Anastasia also plumped her lips, injected her chin, and adjusted her jawline to create balance with her cheeks, turning her face into a distinct geometric shape. Faced with criticism that her beauty is unnatural, Anastasia is not confused. She says that before her beauty treatment, she felt like a common gray mouse. Now she feels more unique, confident, and attractive than ever. Anastasia's story is a living example of how, in the modern world, beauty is no longer bound by traditional standards, but has become a personal choice, even if the price is an unmistakable appearance. Carol Bryan, the tragedy of an injection. Carol Bryan's story is a clear example of how a single cosmetic mistake can change a person's life. In 2009, at the age of 47, this Florida woman simply wanted to regain her youthful appearance by getting dermal filler injections. But in a serious mistake, the doctor injected both silicone and another type of filler into her forehead and cheeks. Incorrectly. The consequences appeared after only a few months. Carol's face began to swell uncontrollably, becoming severely deformed. Her forehead swelled to the point where it covered most of her eyes, impairing her vision. The skin on her face was so tight and deformed, she could no longer recognize herself when she looked in the mirror. Desperate, she was forced to use tape to lift her forehead up enough to see in front of her. After years of self-doubt and isolation, Carol finally sought out two top doctors, Raza Jerry and Brian Boyd, who performed a 17-hour surgery to remove the damaged tissue and reconstruct her face. Although the surgery saved her life, Carol permanently lost vision in one eye and faced a grueling recovery. But instead of giving up, she chose to stand up, becoming a vocal spokesperson for safety in the cosmetic industry, warning the public about the potential risks of unregulated procedures. In 2016, Carol Bryan founded the Saving Face Initiative, a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising awareness about cosmetic safety and supporting those who have experienced complications from cosmetic procedures. The organization provides information, emotional support, and connects victims with reputable medical professionals. Carol has shared her story in various media outlets, including the Doctors and Women's Health magazine, to encourage people to do their research before deciding on cosmetic surgery. Carol Bryan's story is a clear example of how a poor cosmetic decision can change a person's life. It also highlights the importance of choosing a qualified and reputable doctor, as well as understanding the cosmetic procedures before undergoing them. Mickey Rourke, from seduction, icon to unrecognizable face. In the 1980s, Mickey Rourke was Hollywood's leading sex symbol, with his deep eyes, sharp cheekbones, and charismatic presence in films like 9.5 Weeks or Angel Heart. But when he was at his peak, he suddenly changed direction, giving up acting to pursue professional boxing. His passion for sports led to serious injuries, a broken nose, a fractured face, a torn tongue. To restore his damaged face, he underwent a series of plastic surgeries, from rhinoplasty to cheekbone surgery. But instead of restoring his appearance, those surgeries gradually made him become a stranger to himself. Swollen lips, a stiff forehead, and a seemingly absent expression, Rourke became the subject of gossip about the consequences of cosmetic surgery. He once admitted, "I chose the wrong doctor." But he did not lose his character. Returning to The Wrestler, 2008, Mickey transformed into a wrestler past his prime, a role that seemed to mirror his own life, and brought home a Golden Globe and a prestigious Oscar nomination. Although his face was no longer the same, Rourke's eyes were still deep and haunting. His story is not only a warning about cosmetic surgery, but also proof that, when talent is great enough, appearance is no longer what defines a legend. Sometimes the truth is darker than fiction, and what you've just seen is only the tip of the iceberg. Who do you think is still hiding shocking secrets? Drop their name in the comments, and they might be featured in our next video. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because even crazier twists are coming your way. See you soon, and remember, in showbiz, the drama never sleeps.